That Washington football team is really fucking good.
Everything we do is going to be about winning. Okay, we're going to learn to do things the right way, and that's the only way we're going to do them. Because if it doesn't help us, we're not doing it, man. That's just as simple as it gets. Win the Super Bowl. That's I mean it, too. You know, one of the things that the only reason you become a head coach in this league, in my opinion, is to win. That's it. That's the bottom line. If you do it for any other reason, you're wrong.
Hey, Washington football fans, welcome back. Man, that was rough. That did not go at all like I thought it would. Now, don't get me wrong, I think it's, the season's still going to be fine. But the Chargers were just built way better than I thought. And they followed the perfect game plan to beat us. With a bunch of, quick passes to beat our pass rush. And, there were just like two metrics that kind of show how bad this game was. Herbert had 47 pass attempts to both our quarterbacks combined, 21. They also had 29 rushes to our 27th. And those things together led to the most telling issue. They had 13 more minutes time of possession than we did. 13 minutes. That's nearly an entire quarter more time of possession. That was embarrassing. We had, everything else in our favor, Turnovers, we had less turnovers. We had more sacks, interceptions, we had everything else going for us. But through a combination of two of the most important things, not being able to convert on third down and not be able to stop them from doing that, we just gave them way more opportunities to score. Now, I really think, it sucks that Fitzpatrick got hurt. You don't want to see a guy get injured. But I really think Taylor Heinicke executed way better offensively. I think that if he had had that extra 20 minutes before Fitzpatrick went down, I think he could have made up the 4 points we lost by. I know a lot of people out there are jumping on Dustin Hopkins for missing a field goal. That would have brought us closer, but we still would have lost by a point. And honestly, I put that loss on Brandon Sheriff for taking him out of range. He'd already hit 3 field goals from, the range he should have been kicking that from. And, we still would have lost by a point if he had made that anyway. So it's not that big a deal on him. Sure, you like to see your guys make that kick, but pretty sure it was a kick he would have made if Sheriff had been more disciplined. And I just think we had a lot bigger issues. I think our offensive line in general looked kind of rough. I know we made some changes that definitely looked like upgrades, but the biggest factor with an offensive line success is usually continuity. So while my brain is kind of screaming out to get Cornelius Lucas back in at left tackle after seeing the way Leno get ragdolled out there, I think we just need to stick it out. And I think they'll build up that continuity, that comfort. They were going against Joey Bosa, so it's kind of be expected that our tackles were going to have a hard time. And, I just thought our offense, it's going to look a lot better this Thursday when Taylor has some time to build some chemistry with the first team. And I think his mobility will make it a lot easier on that offensive line until they get, nice and gelled. I think Scott Turner, he gets the most out of the offense when Taylor's in it. So I think there's hope. But I definitely think he needs to target Terry and Logan more. If you didn't already have supreme confidence in Terry, that insane catch in the game has to build it. When we finally get Curtis Samuel back, I think the offense will pop even more, especially with Taylor Heineke helming it. So he just needs to stay healthy. All that said, the problems I've been chirping about with our defense, namely at the linebacker level, were the biggest problem. I said quick passes were going to kill our defense, and it did. Holcomb and Bostic ended up with a bunch of tackles, but they were, after the Chargers that got the yards they needed. Our defense, yes, is going to be able to mop the floor with teams that can't execute quick, accurate passes, but there aren't many of those on our schedule. We really need to address the linebacker position if we want to have a good season. At the very least, I think we need to move Jamin Davis out to will so we can actually use his speed. And more importantly, to hide Bostic's lack of speed. I don't know what this huge faith they have in Bostic is for, especially on the outside. I just think it's silly to have someone that slow on the outside of at the linebacker position. Now, I know Ron and Jack are trying to get Jamin used to playing Mike, and they're trying to stick it out. But I think they're greatly overestimating Bostic's abilities to be competent in that place. So, yeah, I made almost an hour video before the game that had a bunch of practice squad linebackers out there that would be a step up from Bostic. And before that, I made a video about guys to trade for. Ron brought in Devontae Downs yesterday, and not sure how much, help he would be, but it's something. And whatever route we take, we need to get stronger there. And I think if Jamin is staying in the middle, then Khaleke Hudson provides way better coverage abilities on the outside than Bostic, and that could be a slight boost. Outside of linebacker, I didn't think we played our cornerbacks to their strengths. I know Juice got picked on a bit, but I think he did well as can be expected, in his first game against some high-level wide receivers. Rookie cornerback, first game against some serious, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are no slouches. So I just think I wasn't worried about him at all. We could have done some things to help him out a bit, and I just didn't see a lot of that. Now, some of the matchups, we got beat. I think definitely could have been avoided by, kind of moving the personnel around differently. Then I know Ron and Jack will figure all that out, so the secondary doesn't really concern me as much as the linebackers, because I know we have the personnel to fix, the issues with the secondary. But linebacker, on the other hand, I'm not so sure. So, also, since the game, we've had to pick up another quarterback as a backup since, Fitz is going to be out, possibly 6 weeks. And we ended up signing Kyle Shermer when, man, I think there's a bunch of, like in my last video, I think there's a bunch of other guys on practice squads. Davis Webb, Trace McSorley, Kyle Laletta, that could have been better options to back up Taylor. Guys that can kind of play the same kind of game as him. And I guess we'll see, how he does. I guess they wanted to grab somebody that was on the street so they could bring them into the practice squad first and get a look at them instead of having to sign them to the team like they would have to do with these practice squad guys. But we'll see. All that said, I'm still confident. I still think that we get 10 plus wins, and we just got to make some adjustments. You know, some of them are a little major, but we just gotta fix a few things. Heineke, you know, I think he'll help. Heineke's being out there from the jump, I think he'll help. Eventually getting Samuel back, that's going to help too. And then hopefully Scott Turner will open up things a bit with Taylor, you know. I mean, Fitz was only out there a quarter and a half, but man, the offense just did not look like it was moving with them. It looked entirely on Antonio Gibson's shoulders then. Now, the good thing is not everybody is going to be able to deal with the pressure like the Chargers did. You know? And in the end, we still held them to 20 points. They only scored 20 points. I think we'll be able to do that to just about everybody. If we could do it to the Chargers, people aren't going to score much more than that. And as tough as our schedule is, how many of the teams have that perfect storm that they did? You know, they had a quarterback with a big arm and good mobility that performs better under pressure with an O-line good enough to buy him enough time to get a ball to a pair of high-end wide receivers. He had a dual threat running back and a solid tight end. Paired that with a solid defense that has some top-level pieces on that. Like, who else out there is that well-rounded? The Chiefs? That's about it. I would have thought, you know, before the first game here, before the week one, I would have been more worried about the Bills. But I think, hey, if Pittsburgh's defense can do that to them, then I definitely think we can too. And just looking at the schedule, I'm not as worried as I should be after a loss like this. You'd think, you know, it would make you worry a bit more, but then seeing what happened to the Packers out there, really not as worried about them as I was, because their offensive line looks horrible without Bakhtiari, and really not even know it was the Saints that completely destroyed them. I'm still not terrified of the Saints by any means. So yeah, like, not, you know, what we wanted, but I'm not going to panic. I think after Thursday, we'll all be feeling a little better with a win over the Giants, because I definitely see that happening. And yeah, I just it's a tough loss, but you know, it happens. Go ahead and get it out of the way early, I guess. And hey man, the Chargers are for real. I just didn't think they would get out the gate so fast, but you know, keeping the Chargers 20 points, you know, we're for real too. And I ain't worried. I'm still gonna get 10 plus. And yeah, hail to the football team. You guys like the video, please like the video down below. Hit that subscribe button. And let me know what you thought. You think, you know, we're screwed? What do you think the problem was out there? Yeah, let me know what you think down below. Y'all watch this. I love you. Peace.